Remember that it is entertainment. The characters are not faithful to mythological tales or anime. Finally, subscribe and have a good time XD. /World S005 Shinobi World / What if Naruto was the son of only civilians? The birth of Naruto. Theory Part 1. This world is similar to the original. 2 babies were born that day. Naruto was the son of 2 ordinary civilians and Mito Namikaze Uzumaki was the newborn daughter of Kushina and Minato. In this story, the Grim Reaper would not take Minato's soul, as he would claim his soul when he is old or dies in battle. Kushina is really happy, she was able to survive and could fulfill her dream of having a family. Days after the tragic Kyuubi attack, a council meeting was held. Minato POV. Shit, what can I do? They were Minato's thoughts. He already knew that the old men on the council wanted his daughter as a weapon. He wouldn't allow that. His eyes became serious, because he had made a decision. I don't like this, but I can't find any other way to solve this. Ambu, was what Minato said, and in a second 3 Ambus appeared out of nowhere. I want you to bring me a complete list of newborn babies who have lost their parents. Making a slight bow, the Ambus disappeared to fulfill their mission. I hope I'm doing the right thing. The latter was said in a whisper by Minato. Within an hour the report arrived. And he began to review it. Well, I just have to find a baby that has some similarity to me or Kushina. Then his gaze fell on a baby with red hair. Perfect, this will work for me. I'm sorry little one, I'll make your life miserable, but I need time to take control of Konoha and get rid of the civilian council. So wait for me, when you grow up I will grant you any request you have. Then she looked sadly at the child, for he would put a very hard burden on a child. He then used a Hiration and went to look for the baby, then he went to look for his wife so she would know the decision he made. Kushina, hearing Minato's plan, couldn't help but get angry. Why would you do such a crazy thing? Kushina shouted. This child has already lost his parents. We can't do this. This is wrong. Several tears fell from Kushina's eyes. This child, even though he's not my son, I can't help but feel like I have a connection with him. She fixed her gaze on the boy's face and could only cry. He really seemed to be her son. Sorry, but we do it to protect Mito. It was the thoughts of Minato and a sad Kushina. POV in the council room. Hello Hokage-sama, I need to know what happened to the Kyuubi. Those were Mito Kado's words. Our weapon must be at our mercy, as it is a symbol of Konoha's power. Tell us Minato-san what happened to the 9-tailed fox. This was said by Counselor Koharu Utatane. Minato gave a long sigh and told part of the truth. I suggest that the Kyuubi container be given to me and turned into a weapon loyal to Konoha, Danzo said calmly, but deep inside he wanted to possess a weapon with enough power to dominate Konoha and the entire world in the future. That's out of the question, Danzo. The container of the Kyuubi is one of my children. His name is Naruto Uzumaki, as he inherited strong Uzumaki genes. His gaze hardened. And if I find out that they have done something behind my back, they will be considered traitors. He said the last thing in a shout. There were several complaints, especially from the civil councilors, because of the Kyuubi demon many areas of their properties were destroyed, and several lost their families. Minato disappeared in a yellow flash and appeared with his wife Kushina and 2 newborn babies. My daughter is Mito, her name is in honor of the wife of the first Hokage, and this here is Naruto. For my daughter's safety, Naruto will be sent to the orphanage. When the time is right I will claim him as my son. Minato spoke. Ambus, take my son and make sure he arrives safely at the orphanage. The Ambus nodded, but Kushina didn't want to give him up, her eyes wouldn't stop crying. Please, Minato must see another way. These were Kushina's pleas, as she felt she had to take care of this baby. Behave like the clan leader you are. Danzo said seriously. He thought it was pathetic to make a fuss about abandoning a child. Kushina, still in tears, spoke to her husband, "Please Minato, someone stop this, can't you see it's wrong?" Nobody did anything. One of those affected was the leader of the Inuzuka clan. For her, abandoning a puppy was unforgivable, but she could do nothing, since it was just her and Kushina against everyone. "Forgive me, little Naru, from today you will suffer. I know you will be strong, you will be the strongest of all. Sleep well and eat well, make friends who are with you, no matter if they are few, and lastly remember that I love you with all my heart." She was in tears. The Ambas didn't care and took the baby away from her. Kushina collapsed on the ground and kept crying. She looked up, and as best she could she looked at the child, and when the baby opened his eyes she could see a violet-gray eye that said to her without words, "I forgive you." She gave him a faint smile. "I will get you back," were Kushina's last thoughts as she decided to leave the place. Kushina was jumping from rooftop to rooftop and said, "I curse you, Minato, I curse the idiots of the council, I curse my own weakness." Her eyes were still showing as several tears came out, and they didn't seem to stop. "Don't worry, Naruto, if I can't take care of you, I'll find a way to help you, to make you strong. Minato and the others will pay for what they have done." She thought that last bitterly to the idiots who didn't help her, including Minato himself. Upon arriving at the house, he began to make copies of various scrolls from all areas for a ninja, and he also focused on studies that would help in chakra control, as well as techniques to expand the chakra. With all the scrolls copied and stored in a storage seal, he set out to save all the originals and leave no evidence of what he did. *A Lonely Life. Theory Part 2. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. I don't know my parents. On my 4th birthday I was expelled from the orphanage. Then I lost the 3 women I loved the most. All of this started 9 years ago, but I remember it like it was yesterday. POV flashback. For me it was a normal day, getting up for a bucket of ice water thrown at me, cleaning all the rooms in the orphanage and eating everyone else's crumbs for breakfast. In the afternoon the children tied me up while throwing things at me. Child X, ha 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 ha, because you have that angry face. A demon needs his daily beating. Don't you believe it, folks? The rest of the kids nod their heads in approval. Naruto, very annoyed, replies, "You bastards will pay for this, someday I'll make you apologize while kissing my feet." He responded with so much hatred in his voice that it frightened several children in the area. Inadvertently, someone got close enough to Naruto for him to shake his head. It was then that Naruto broke one of the children's noses with a single headbutt. Naruto with a smile speaks, "Ha ha 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 ha, that and more things will happen to all of you, if you don't release me right this very moment." Without paying attention to his words, all the children in the place went to hit Naruto, leaving him badly hurt. That's when 4 of the caretakers enter, and seeing Naruto hurt they do nothing, but seeing a boy with a broken nose they didn't hesitate to give a good punishment to the bastard demon of Konoha. The caretakers stripped Naruto and put ropes on his hands that had him hanging from a tree in the courtyard. "What are you going to do to me?" asked Naruto with some fear. "You're going to pay for hurting someone in this place," was the simple answer of one of the caretakers. They brought several types of whip, some seemed more lethal than others. There was one that had metal spikes made to tear the skin. Naruto was about to ask for forgiveness, but an indescribable pain invaded his young mind. And he could only scream. Already at the 25th lash, Naruto's screams of pain ceased, because at that moment his vocal cords were damaged from screaming so much. "Please have mercy, I have never done anything to deserve this." They were the words of a broken child who did not understand why the world was cruel to him. His words did not reassure his abusers, they did the opposite. One of them, out of anger, went to look for an iron rod and heated it red hot. Her eyes reflected madness and hatred towards the child. Her friends tried to persuade her. Since the boy never presented the healing factor of a Jinchuriki. "You think I care about that kid? I don't give a shit if the higher-ups in Konoha want him alive. I want him dead. He killed my 2 daughters and took my husband. He taked everything from me, and now I'm alone. Once that was said, her friends no longer stopped her and watched as she wrote the following on the boy's back. "Kyubi, you will never be loved." Those were the simple words that were written on his back. Each written letter carried with it a scream full of agony. All that afternoon until the night they could hear the small cry of Naruto, who was still hanging in that tree. His scream stopped when he heard someone approaching. "Please, no more, no more. Naruto will be an obedient child. I don't want any more pain. Have mercy. I swear I never did anything wrong." Her tears were flowing non-stop and her eyes were closed in fear. After a while of silence, he felt someone hugging him gently. He could hear crying and identified it was a woman. He was going to ask her something until she spoke. "I'm sorry, Naru, I haven't found a way to save you yet. There are many eyes watching you. I have been training in secret. One day I will rescue you and I hope that when the time comes, you can forgive me." Naruto was surprised. He thought no one cared about him. Hearing the words of that woman made him shed tears. "Save me and get me out of this hell." They were the pleas of Naruto, who was hoping to escape from that place. Kushina broke away from the embrace and denied, "I'm sorry, little one, but if I do I won't be able to protect you. Get out of here," were Naruto's words. "You talk to me like you care, but you tell me you can't help me. You're just like everyone else," were Naruto's resentful words. Kushina lowered her gaze and clenched her fists. She really couldn't do much. Even now she was taking a chance, because she might be seen by someone. She walked over to him, untied him from the knot and carefully pulled him down. "Look into my eyes. There's not much I can do. But I'll help you with this." After saying this, Kushina puts a seal on his palm that had a diamond shape and handed him a small note. "I know you have questions, but they will be answered later." She was preparing to leave the place. And before she left she heard something. You are my mother." She stopped and didn't know what to say. "You look a lot like me." Those were Naruto's words. Kushina just turned her face to make contact and just said, "I'm sorry, Naru, but I'm not your mother." Naruto had high hopes that she was his mother, but when he heard the sad news he lowered his gaze, because that answer made his heart ache. He began to sob silently. Kushina had several tears and wanted to comfort her son in everything but blood. But she didn't have time anymore. She hardened her heart and walked away, leaving a devastated Naruto. At that moment Naruto made a decision. He was going to be on top of the world. He raised his gaze to the sky and for a microsecond eyes appeared to him that only the Otsutsuki gods had. For someone without a clan he did the impossible, he manifested a Dojutsu. For in that clanless child appeared the Rinne Sharingan. Naruto set out to read the note. "Hi Naru, I know you probably resent me, but let me make it up to you. I'll give you a little introduction to activate your chakra, and when you do, put that chakra on the diamond mark that I embed in your hand." He continued reading and was able to understand the basics of activating chakra. Apparently it's pretty easy. It was already night, so he was about to enter the orphanage, when the caretaker who hurt him the most and prevented him from entering. "From now on a monster like you will live in the streets, which is where you belong." Those were the words of that merciless woman. Without waiting for an answer, she closed the door in Naruto's face, making his nose bleed. He left. He did not see the point of staying there in that place. But it was not more than 3 hours that everyone in Konoha knew about the Kyubi brat, and in a short time they found him and slaughtered him with endless blows. Before he got worse and died. He was saved by 3 beautiful young girls and they took him to a forest to heal his wounds. The Ice Queens. Theory Part 3. My whole body ached. It was not the first time I experienced pain, but it was unbearable. When I opened my eyes, I could see 3 pretty girls older than me, arguing. When one of them realized I was awake, she shushed her friends and their gazes. They turned to me. "Hello brat," said a happy girl with purple hair and brown eyes. I smiled as best I could and without meaning to said, "How beautiful." Then my head processed what I said and I blushed. So I hung my head in shame and fear in case they hit me. "Hey little one, look up." I listened to the voice and now saw a girl with violet hair and brown eyes. I accidentally said beautiful again, but this time I didn't look away. "Take your perverted look away from my friends." That serious voice disconcerted me and made me a little scared. So I lowered my gaze. "Sorry." It was what I whispered, although loud enough for them to hear me. "Tell me little boy, what is your name?" That's what the same black-haired girl with red eyes said. "My name is Naruto." I answered with some fear. Because her serious look was very intimidating, Enko intervened, "That's enough Kurenai-chan. You look scared, so stop bullying that cute little brat." HMP was the only thing heard from the girl named Kurenai as she had her arms crossed. "Hey Naruto, tell me why the villagers were attacking you, and by the way my name is Yugao Yuzuki?" I asked with a kind voice. "I don't know." I looked down with small tears. I was calmly looking for a shelter to spend the night, until all of a sudden they cornered me and started attacking me. I called for help, but no one helped me. When I finished telling my story, the three girls covered their mouths from shock, because they didn't believe it, but they themselves saw how the boy was beaten. So they took him out of there. They tried to take them to the hospitals, but no one would take care of them. With nothing else to do, they went to a forest and took refuge to treat the little boy's wounds. They did not return home because they realized that there were ambushed looking for a child with Naruto's characteristics. Surprisingly, Kurenai was the one who approached the boy first and hugged him. Naruto let his tears flow, as he hugged a Kurenai who had a sad countenance. Enko then asked, "Tell me brat, do you have a place to call home?" Naruto just denies and answers, "I don't have anything," and seeing how I was treated at the orphanage and the people on the street, I can conclude that there is something wrong with me. So I doubt I will find a home. The three looked at each other and knew why, because in front of them was the Kyuubi's container. Then Yugao asked, "Tell me little Naru, what are your goals in life? What is your dream?" Naruto without hesitation answered, "To be the strongest, to make a fool of the greatest shinobi in history. I will learn their techniques and no matter how much I sweat and bleed, I will surpass them," he said with a determined look that surprised the girls. And unbeknownst to Naruto it made her new friends blush a little. "We will train you. We will be with you and accompany you on your way to be the strongest." This was shouted by a smiling and eager Anko, and her two friends nodded in approval. "Thank you Anko-chan, Yugao-chan and Kurenai-chan," she said it while smiling, and that smile was returned by her friends and a slight blush could be seen on her cheeks. "You're welcome Naru-kun," was what the girl said. "I, Naruto Uzumaki, swear that I will not only become strong for myself, but I will also become strong to protect them." That answer cheered the girls, who unintentionally gave a little squeal from the excitement they felt in their hearts. Then the girls left, because they had to go home. And before leaving the girls said goodbye to Naruto with a kiss on the cheek, making Naruto blush looking like a tomato that matched his red hair. "Goodbye Naru-kun," that was the last thing Naruto heard. To see her friends leaving the cave. He wasted no time and took out the paper the redhead had left him. He gave the note on how to activate his chakra one last glance. And for almost 2 hours he made several attempts, when he finally felt something inside him. According to the note she had to feel like a river inside him, but what she felt was a weak fountain, but dense and deep. After a rest, he put chakra into the rhombus on his wrist and a scroll came out. When he picked up the parchment a note fell out. Another note. A curious Naruto wondered. "Let's see what he says. Hello Naru, I don't know how many days it will be until you activate your chakra. If you succeed and apply a little to the rhombus figure on your wrist, a scroll will come out. That scroll will have basic information on all areas. I advise you to study and learn everything perfectly. The scroll will also have my notes, such as tips or tricks to make your progress faster, or make it more difficult if you want to go one step further. It is important that you study the basic Fuinjutsu that I put you in the scroll, so you can get more scrolls that are in the seal that I gave you. Good luck, Naru, I love you. And so Naruto's training began. He focused first on the physical. He realized that by using chakra his body was exhausted. Luckily on the scroll there were weight seals. He did the basics, 25 squats, 25 sit-ups, climbing a mountain with only his hands and various exercises that pushed his small body to the limit. This is how he continued his training for a year and gradually increased it. As she did not have a quick regeneration, she prepared various ointments or medicines, which she had written down on the parchment for a quick recovery. She also received help from her friends. They visited him very often. That made the little red-haired boy happy. Both he and her friends deepened their friendship. But Naruto felt something more than friendship, but he was aware that there were some obstacles. After that year, he focused on his chakra control. He did the basic chakra control exercises, such as tree walking and water walking. The latter he struggled with. And to take his control to another level he decided to use the weights which now had a weight of 10 kilos. He had one on each arm and leg that in total weighed 40 kilos. Hello little Naru. It was Anko's cheerful voice that distracted Naruto, causing him to fall out of the tree. Ouch, my butt, were the complaints of Naruto, while Anko's laughter could be heard. Ha ha ha, how funny. It was the sarcastic voice of Naruto. To then see how Anko calmed down. Well brat, today it's my turn to teach you. So to improve your endurance, you will run 5 kilometers. And to increase your difficulty you will increase the weights you carry to 15 kilos each. After that hard training, Naruto fainted. And Anko took him to the cave which, thanks to her and her 2 friends, now looked like a house inside a cave. Entering the cave, she saw her 2 best friends, gave them a smile and spoke curiously, Kurenai-chan, Yugao-chan. What are you doing here? I thought you would be busy with your sensei today. Well, we suddenly have the day off and we wanted to see this adorable little brat. Yugao answered with a smile, while he came closer and stroked the little red-haired boy's hair. I wanted to see him too, admitted with some embarrassment the young genjutsu genius. They continued chatting and before saying goodbye, they heard something that shocked and made them uncomfortable. I love them, were the words of a sleeping Naruto told them. The room was filled with an awkward silence until Yugao was the first to speak. What do you girls think? I don't know what to think, was Anko's short answer. He's cute and all, but he's very young and people aren't very nice to him. Kurenai pitifully said, if we get paired with him, not only will there be trouble for Naruto, but we'll be in trouble too. The 3 looked at each other and nodded. We should stay away from him. For his sake and for ours. Those were the words of the 3 who looked sadly at the little redhead. Before leaving, each one left her a souvenir. Anko gave her a necklace with a pair of snake teeth, Kurenai left her the bandages of her hands, Yugao left her a simple but pretty elastic to tie her hair. Without hesitation they left, or so it seemed. From the cave small sobs could be heard. Naruto with tears could only say, I'm sorry Anko. I'm sorry Yugao. I'm sorry Kurenai. I didn't mean to fall in love. His tears were falling harder. I thought that if I became strong someday I would be worthy of you. But I'm not enough. Who would want to be with a demon like me? A rage raced through Naruto's heart and from one second to the next he began to tear his house apart. I hate them. Aerg was the red-haired man's cry as he pounded the ground in frustration. Outside the cave some crying girls heard everything. They knew Naruto had woken up, but they didn't expect him to take it so badly. Are they sure it was for the best? Kurenai asked quietly. I don't know. was Yugao's answer. Enko replies, I'm not sure, but in time she will understand. Then nothing more was said and they left never to return. They each shed a tear, because deep down they knew they were not doing the right thing. One more reason to be the strongest. Theory Part 4. In the present we see a rather muscular 13-year-old redhead doing sit-ups in the water of a waterfall. He trained his chakra control to stick to all the water so that gravity wouldn't take him downstream, so he also trained his body with gravity seals. After 2 hours of different exercises he was taking a nice shower in the river. When his nose caught a scent and he sketched a faint smile. Without even turning around he spoke, "Wow, I didn't think my little wolf was a pervert." A female voice was heard mumbling inaudible words. "Ha ha ha ha, calm down and tell me, my beautiful Hana-chan, what brings you to my territories?" She replied in a somewhat flirtatious voice, Era, my little red-headed boy, I see you've become a bit bold. I think Naruto-kun needs a punishment." Naruto smiled a little and played along, "Well, my beautiful she-wolf, punish me now." He comes out of the river and shamelessly walks naked towards Hana, who started to turn red because of how sexy and strong Naruto is. "Looks like my she-wolf is in the mood to eat me," Naruto says sensually, as he gets close to her ear and gives her a little blow. This had the expected reaction, as Hana's legs were trembling and Naruto took the opportunity to approach and hug her from the front. "Tell me, my sexy wolf, what your alpha should do in this situation." Hana swallowed saliva, her little game had come back against her and now she could feel all of Naruto's naked body. As well as she could also feel his manhood rubbing against her thighs. And she was starting to get aroused. Without waiting any longer she let her instincts act and rushed towards Naruto, making them fall to the ground and kissed him. That from a shy kiss turned into a lust-filled one, and out of instinct she began to rub her hips on the bulge she felt. One thing led to another and now they were naked as Hana was breathing heavily and Naruto had a smirk on his face. That was amazing. Those were Hana's sincere words. When she caught her breath she clung to Naruto in a tight embrace and they fell asleep. The next morning came and the last one to wake up was Hana. "Hello, my beautiful she-wolf, here I brought you your breakfast." "Thank you, Naruto-kun," was Hana's grateful reply, for her beloved was very considerate. After breakfast there was a silence that was interrupted by Hana. "Tell me, Naruto, now what are we?" were the words of a serious Hana. "I gave you my first time. Now I give you not only my body but also my heart, that's why I want to know what I am for you." Naruto answers her without hesitation, "You are special to me. But you have known me for 5 years. I have several ambitions that I want to fulfill and one of them is to have a clan, and for that I need several women." Hana nods, although she became sad. "So I'm just one of the many women you want in your bed?" She looked like she was about to cry. "Don't worry, my princess, I would never play with your heart. I will only love women who are worthy of my love. And believe me, among all of them, you will be the one I love the most. After all, you helped me out of my own darkness." Naruto affectionately replies, "And that is why I love you and will always love you." Hana's heart was pounding and without hesitation she went to kiss the baka who stole her heart. "I love you." Those were the words of the two, and then they had another passionate moment. After a few hours Hana said goodbye, as she had to tell her mother about their relationship. Naruto got ready to continue training. He did a series of hand positions and then added chakra to his hand seal and a scroll appeared. Naruto spoke with excitement, "I already mastered each of the scrolls, I just need to handle better the Hiration of the second Hokage, as well as expand my chakra spirals. But now I will study a couple of A-ranked elemental jutsu." In a hidden area, Naruto was sweating profusely and was panting. One of the tips to expand your chakra coils was to use chakra to the extreme until it was exhausted. "Wow, you have destroyed this area. I find your level of Fuinjutsu impressive, which serves as a barrier to prevent the damage from spreading throughout the forest." Those were Hana's words. Naruto, somewhat tired from training, responds, my beautiful wolf, I thought I wouldn't see you until tomorrow." Naruto saw how his partner's face changed to an angry and sad one. Naruto without thinking approached him and gave him a hug. Not a second passed when small sobs began to be heard from the young Inuzuka. Naruto speaks to her with concern, "Tell me, love, that has you so upset." She hesitates for a moment, but upon seeing her boyfriend's pleading and worried eyes, she answers, "Mom is happy about my relationship, but the news spread and now the elders of my clan want me to be engaged to one of their children. I don't want to be separated from you." She began to cry harder. "I love you, and if I am separated from you, I don't know what I would do with my life." Seeing her cry hurt Naruto. He promised to make all the bastards who made his beloved cry pay, but first he had to calm his partner down. Hana couldn't say any more, because Naruto was kissing him, while he was wiping her tears with his hand. Naruto breaks away from the embrace and tells her, "I won't let them take you away from my side. You are mine, Hana Inuzuka, and I will not let them take you away from my life. I will fight for you. Look me in the eyes, tell me, do you trust me?" She sketched a beautiful smile and answered, "I trust you more than anyone else in the world." With that, they prepared to go to sleep and Hana slept peacefully in her lover's arms. She was now sure that she wanted to build a life with Naruto. She only had one fear, and that was that someone would snatch him from her life, but she would fight with everything to make sure that didn't happen and that Naruto would always be with her. A beating and the domination of the Inuzuka clan. Theory Part 5. Naruto's skills are elemental techniques of the 5 elements, as well as certain techniques created by himself, low Jonin level Taijutsu, high Chunin level Genjutsu, high Jonin level Chakra, and level 15/20 Fuinjutsu. Any other stats are low Jonin level. As you can see, Naruto is not OP. He achieved the level he possesses based on 9 years of training. Well, it's time to show who has the fangs and put the idiots in their place. Those were Naruto's words. Don't be confident, I know you are strong, but in my clan there are many people of Jonin level. And I don't want to see you hurt. Hana said, worried. Naruto answers her while caressing her cheek, "It's okay, honey, I remember that I have several tricks that even you don't know. My goal is to be the strongest of all, and this is a good time to show my progress." After a chat, the couple is seen entering the Inuzuka compound and catching everyone's attention. They arrive at the main mansion, which is where the clan matriarch and Hana's mother used to live. "Wow, so you are the boy who conquered my little girl," said Hana's mother. "I introduce myself, I am Tsum Inuzuka, leader of the Inuzuka clan, and judging by your face you do not agree with the elders of my clan." Naruto seriously replies, "I am Naruto Uzumaki, in the future, I will change my name to Yorichi Tsujikuni and I come to claim Hana Inuzuka as my own. If you or your clan stand in my way then I will fight." Tsum smiled, showing his sharp teeth, and replied, "You have a lot of nerve to talk to me like that, brat, but you don't decide my daughter's future." Naruto hardened his gaze, "I won't waste oxygen talking to you. Bring me your best men and the idiot who wants my Hana, and if I defeat them she will be mine." "Listen, idiot, I don't know you, you can't demand anything from me. And you have nothing to give me in return, so I won't accept it." Naruto let out a slight laugh and replied, "If you defeat me I will give your clan a technique of my clan, or rather future clan." Tsum curiously nodded for Naruto to demonstrate his technique. Naruto lifts his hand a little and raises a finger, and from the tip a lightning bolt forms. Tsum was going to make fun of that little thing, but Naruto shushed her when his finger pointed at a tree and the lightning from his finger came out at high speed and went through the tree, leaving a big hole. "What was that?" Tsum exclaimed, because she had never seen a technique that looked harmless and was so lethal. "That, my dear mother-in-law, was my lightning-piercing bullet jutsu," was Naruto's proud reply. At that moment they heard footsteps approaching. They turned out to be the elders of the Inuzuka clan, and the eldest said, "Young shinobi, we accept your duel. If you win you will have Hana Inuzuka, and if you lose you will reveal the technique to our clan, as well as we will be the only ones to use it and it will not be shared with anyone." Naruto answers, "That's fine with me. I will give you 30 minutes to prepare your warriors. Brat, have more respect." That was said by one of the clan elders who didn't like Naruto's way of acting. "I will talk to you with respect when you earn it. In my eyes you are just greedy old men." "Tsh," was the snap of the elders. Without saying anything else they went in search of the strongest fighters. "I hope you win, Gaki." It was Tsum's voice that deep down was worried. Naruto took a better look at the woman. And took a few steps to get closer to her. Making her nervous. What are you doing?" were the words of a nervous Tsum. Naruto moved closer to Tsum and his hand came close to her face. She closed her eyes. But she only felt her face being caressed. A somewhat red Tsum says, What do you think you are doing?" Naruto with a sad voice says, "Those old men hurt you, didn't they?" Tsum was speechless, as several memories came to her. She wanted to be a strong kunoichi when she was young, but the old bastards forced her to commit to someone. She was stubborn and fell in love with someone who was not from her clan. He fought for her freedom, but in the end lost and was killed in front of her. That same day she was forcibly married and lost her purity to someone she did not love. Every day was hell, but she had to be tough because she had 2 children to take care of. Everything got better when her bastard husband died. And she became the leader of her clan. Her thoughts were interrupted when she began to listen to her daughter. "Mother, mother, mother. Answer me." They were the desperate cries of my daughter. Tsum, somewhat confused, answered, "What is it, dear, why are you crying?" "Mother, you didn't answer. I called you many times and you didn't answer. And I got scared. I saw you crying and I didn't know what to do. When I touched my cheeks I could notice a trace of tears. That's when Naruto hugged me. I wanted to reject him, but I was losing strength and without knowing it I ended up hugging him and crying on his chest." Naruto asked him worried, "Tell me what they did to you and believe me I will do everything in my power to help you." I didn't want to answer him, but I saw those violet-gray eyes. They conveyed concern and I told him everything. I did not omit any detail. That's when for a few seconds I felt a great increase in Naruto's power. I also noticed how his eyes changed for a few seconds to eyes that emanated power. They were ringed eyes and seemed to have tomos like those of the Sharingan. Naruto spoke seriously, "What you lived through didn't have to happen, you deserve to be happy and those bastards took it away from you. Today I will free Hana and I will free you Tsum. And I always keep my promises." Then Naruto looked at Hana and said, "I also wish your mother for my clan." That answer left Hana speechless, but she remained thoughtful and came to the conclusion that her mother deserved to be happy. Hana looks at her mother and asks, "Oka-san, do you want me to share you my boyfriend?" That made Tsum blush, but she shook her head sadly and told her, "I am not worthy, I was used as a toy and I don't think I am worthy." At that moment she gets a slap from her daughter who was upset. "You are really listening to yourself, you are the bravest woman I know, you even raised me with love even though you took it away yourself. Not just anyone does that." "I have to agree with your daughter," Naruto replied. "You are a warrior and it will be an honor to have you in my clan." Tsum replied, "You don't care that I'm older than you." Naruto shook his head and replied firmly, "That doesn't bother me. In my eyes you are very sexy, just like your daughter, but if your age bothers you, then I promise to find a way to rejuvenate you. I thank you Naruto-kun. And I would love to be your partner." And without further ado, they both kissed. Cough, very nice and all, but don't leave me out. Those were the words of a jealous Hana. Who after saying that, joined in the fun. POV 30 minutes later. Inside the Inuzuka clan, a large number of people could be seen gathered. One of the elders began to speak, "Family. Today we will witness the fight for the hand of the clan chief's daughter. On my right will be the warriors chosen by us. You see 10 clan members and they are all jonin. And to my right we have the half-breed who thinks he is the alpha of this litter. From a Shunshin no Jutsu, Naruto appears. Almost all the male audience boo him. And the women look lustfully at that boy, although there was also concern in all of them. They all knew what would happen. It was very common for someone outside the clan to fall in love with one of the clan's women, but it always ended with the death of their beloved. With nothing more to say, commenced the fight. Without waiting for another signal, they all moved into combat position. First up was Taijutsu, and clearly, although Naruto was strong, he was fighting 10 Jonin and it was clear that they outmatched him. To finish quickly, Naruto performs one of his jutsu made for melee fighting, Lightning Mantle Jutsu. This technique covers the user with lightning that increases his speed and his reflexes reach another level. Naruto in one swift movement left 3 unconscious, but things got complicated because the others began to use their jutsu of their clan. And he had to dodge human tornadoes, which was the main technique of the Inuzuka clan. Naruto made poses with his hands and shouted, "Wind Dome Jutsu." An air defense formed around Naruto that repelled the techniques of his opponents. "I will finish this with my next attack." Naruto made several poses with his hands and shouted, "Water Dragon Roar Jutsu." As he finished saying that, water formed out of nowhere and a dragon of monumental size was created. Naruto aimed at his enemies and the dragon went to attack and finished them all off. After that, Naruto is exhausted, as he has no elemental affinity and the jutsu was of high level that consumed much of his chakra. Just at that moment he begins to hear some footsteps and looks up. Shit, what do I do now? I'm without any chakra." These were Naruto's thoughts. He was about to faint. And in front of him there was still someone standing. "Ha ha ha, I have to say that technique was amazing, but I am the strongest and after defeating you, I will have a nice time with Hana-chan." Then he looks at Hana from afar and licks his lip, scaring Hana. Naruto put on a faint smile. "Wow, you sure are unlucky." Without waiting any longer he bit his finger and touched the lozenge on his wrist with the blood coming out of his finger. "Karma Kai!" was Naruto's cry. And it was observed as the rhombus spread all over his arm. Looking like a tattoo, and on his shoulder appeared the figure of the face of the Kyuubi. The imbecile was trembling with fear, as he felt a terrifying presence. Who are you, you damn monster? Ha ha ha, since it will be your last day I'll tell you a secret." He makes some poses with his * the truth revealed and a new goal. Theory Part 6. The concern of the 2 women was evident. Without waiting any longer they called 2 women from their clan who were experts in medical ninjutsu. To their relief it was only a wear and tear on the body. "This idiot gave me a scare," said the clan matriarch. Hana let out a light chuckle in agreement with her mother. "But mother is our idiot." Mother and daughter continued talking until they heard a sound and looked in Naruto's direction. He was no longer asleep, but now he was sitting up and looked very thoughtful. The women didn't wait any longer and ran to embrace him as tears welled up in their eyes. There. Don't cry anymore, you see I'm fine." He gives them a smile that reassures their partners. Then he gives them a serious look. "Tsum, do you have a picture of a Kushina Uzumaki?" Tsum nods his head, although he didn't see the point. Anyway, he went to look for a picture of his friend, and when he was about to give her the picture, she stops for a moment and places the photo next to Naruto's face. You are her son." It was Tsum's voice of surprise and excitement. Naruto snatches the photo from her and looks at it. Then he gives the photo back to her and shakes his head. "She is not my mother, I only bear a resemblance to her, although I don't understand why I have her surname." Tsum reflects on everything and remembers that one day she observed her friend's daughter. And for a brief second she expelled a very dark chakra. She could not believe it. She had an idea, but she denied it. It was very cruel, but she wanted to confirm it. "Tell me, Naru, do you know that you are the Kyuubi's container?" Naruto nodded in confirmation. "Tell me, Naru, have you had contact with the Kyuubi or have you felt any dark chakra coming from you?" Naruto shakes his head and replies, I have never felt even a hint of the Kyuubi's chakra. Not even his accelerated healing is present in me. When he said that, Hana was saddened. She was aware of a horrible scar that Naruto had. Some noticed the change in her daughter. Naru, I want to see. Those were Tsum's stern words. Very well. Naruto lifted up his shirt and turned Tsum red. Because Naruto had the perfect body, he had some small scars, but her thoughts froze when Naruto turned around and showed his back. Tsum let out small tears. With trembling voice she asks him, tell me na. Naru, who did that to you and when was it? Tsum demanded. Naruto, somewhat hesitant, finally answers, she was one of the caretakers of the orphanage. As far as I knew, her family was killed by the Kyuubi attack. On one of my last days there she left me the gift you see on my back. Tsum had no more doubts. And she feared Naruto's reaction. She exhaled to calm down. She had a serious look, but the sadness was evident and she revealed the truth to her beloved. Naru, you won't like this, but you are not the Jinchuriki, I think you are just a distraction for the real Jinchuriki. Naruto stiffened at Tsum's affirmation, he ducked his head and answered, you know the reason why they did that. From afar it was clear that he didn't like anything he had heard. You are just a bait, a distraction so that the real Jinchuriki can have a normal life. That answer from Tsum was enough. He was crying in fury. His life was a damn lie, he trained himself to be stronger, so strong that no one could stop him, so strong that the demon inside him would bow down to him. But it was all a damn lie. His anger continued to rise and his hair began to levitate, as he expelled a dense amount of chakra. Naru, calm down, if you continue like this you will destroy the house. Hana told him, very worried. Naru, please forgive me, it wasn't my intention to hurt you, but you should know the truth. Tsum shed tears because she was afraid that she could lose her relationship, but Naruto wasn't listening and an idea crossed his mind. Not only would he be strong, but now his goal was to hunt down the Jinchuriki. He would catch all the tailed demons. Naru. Naruto, now calmer, apologized for worrying them and hugged Tsum, who was the most worried. Girls, I will be away for a while. That news surprised both Hana and Tsum. I'm still weak, maybe for a 13-year-old I'm strong. But I won't settle for that. And if I want to protect my entire clan, then I need more power to protect them. I'm going to hunt the Jinchurikis. Hana and Tsum paled at that. They begged him to reconsider his plan, but Naruto had already made his decision. Naruto looked at both sobbing women. He let out a sigh and gave them both a kiss that calmed them down. And then they gave each other a tight hug between the three of them. Listen girls, if my calculations are correct, I will be back in 1 year. I'm a Jonin level, but my Fuinjutsu is progressing rapidly and with that I'll be able to handle the Jinchurikis. They calmed down a little, but they were still against this idea. Before leaving he had a passionate night with Tsum and Hana. Naruto was hopping from house to house. Until his attention is drawn to the Hokage's tower. With great stealth he sneaks into a hidden storage room with several scrolls. But he focused on the scrolls of the Senju and Uzumaki clan. After copying their contents he set out to leave. Already at the exit of the village he ran into a woman who made his gaze harden. Tell me Kushina, what are you doing in this place at this hour? Kushina had a sad look on her face and slowly approached Naruto. The latter stood on guard, but did not see any hostile signs from Kushina. Just a step away Kushina stops and then looks at him with eyes similar to her own and in one swift movement gives him a big hug as she begins to sob, I'm sorry little one. Sniff, sniff, I wasn't strong enough. They found out I was trying to contact you and those bastards have threatened me and my daughter. Naruto impassively speaks to him, tell me the whole truth behind my birth, I need to know my true origins, I need to know why I suffered and if it was of any use, your answer will decide the path I will choose for this world. Kushina broke away from the embrace, then considered her son's words and with her head bowed began to tell him everything, how he was only the son of civilians and that because he looked like her he was used as a shield for people's hatred to be directed towards him. How she tried to defend him from that fate but couldn't, how she hated Minato and everyone for what they did, and how she hated herself for not doing more for him. She couldn't take it anymore and collapsed on the ground and her tears covered her whole face. Naruto wanted to get angry at that woman, but he couldn't. Thanks to her he was strong. Don't cry anymore, he proceeded to wipe away her tears. Your beautiful face would look better with a smile. He gave her a smile and Kushina reflexively gave her characteristic smile. It was amazing how alike they were. Naruto was captivated by that smile and without much thought planted a kiss on a stunned Kushina. At first she wanted to pull away, but Naruto held her waist. Seconds passed and Kushina returned the kiss. After 2 minutes they separated due to lack of air. Kushina all red, "Bye. Because of, why did you kiss me? Because I like you. Your face, the way you talk and for being the cause of me being so strong. I owe you a lot of things and that's why I want you to be with me. But what about my daughter? She adores her father and I don't think she will forgive me if I go with someone else." Calm down Kushina. He gives her a hug making Kushina calm down. When the time comes I will talk to her. Kushina, somewhat fearful, replies to him, "But if it gets out that I'm with you, many including Minato will want you dead." "Ha ha ha, believe me Kushi-chan, when that time comes I will be strong enough to defeat everyone. I will go on a 1-year training trip. During that time I want you and your daughter to train." Kushina nods in approval. "I have to confess to you that I am going to form a new clan. I will be the head of the clan and as such I need several women to grow my clan. Both Hana Inuzuka and Tsum Inuzuka have a relationship with me. Tell me Kushina, can you accept this kind of relationship?" Kushina didn't like his idea, as she was very jealous, but seeing Naruto's serious look, she saw Naruto's silent plea for her to accept. She had already made up her mind about it. Kushina, not very happy, nods her head. "As long as I'm with you and you love me I can tolerate it, but that yes, I will be the first woman to have your child." She says this last thing super red with embarrassment. "Ha ha ha, of course love." With nothing more to say, he started to walk away and could only hear Kushina's goodbye shout, and with every step he took, the voice of his red-haired crush could be heard less and less, until he heard nothing anymore. Naruto without hand poses did a henge no jutsu and disguised himself as a man with white hair and red eyes. He then made 30 shadow clones and they all set off in different directions. Naruto let out a sigh and looked at the moon. For a second something attracted him to the moon, but he dismissed that idea. "Well, I will continue to perfect my techniques and in 2 months I will begin my hunt. My clones should be more than enough to be able to know where the Jinchuriki are." The new wise man of the sixth path. Theory Part 7. Naruto was about to finish his hunt. Now he only needed to obtain the power of Hachibi. He was in the land of lightning, in the outskirts, on an island. Curiously he watched his victim rapping. Naruto lands a few inches away, making his presence known. "Hello intruder, do you want to listen to my rap that will make you amazed? Yeah. Silence B. You'd better run away." It was the warning of his friend Hachibi. Hachibi in his mind was telling him, this guy is dangerous. He detects a chakra level as high as a Biju. But he hides something else. B ignoring his warning goes on with his rap, "Yey. Hey white-haired guy, I heard about you. A threat I don't see anywhere." Naruto raised his hand, "Iron coffin." Out of nowhere an iron sand wrapped around B, imprisoning him, but "Gruer, me and my friend will destroy you and with a lariat we will decapitate you yeah. In his four-tailed hood Biju mode, he launched himself at Naruto. But just before the blow, an iron sand shield was created. "Wow, you surprised yourself, Hachibi Jinchuriki. Naruto inhaled and spat out a large amount of lava, which burned B, who didn't expect that lava attack. It hurts, it hurts. Come on Hachibi, let's show him everything we can do. There was a smokescreen and the Hachibi was observed in his full form. Naruto didn't flinch, as it's not the first time he's seen a full Biju. B, more confident, raps again, oh yes. This time your end is near. One simple move and you'll swallow dirt yeah. Naruto started to get a vein on his forehead. Well, I've put up with a lot already. I never thought I'd meet someone so annoying. I won't put up with your rapping anymore. Naruto made several poses with his hands. He inhaled a large amount of air. Katan Guka Makyaku. A huge fire came out of Naruto, but it was blue. Water wall jutsu. The Hachibi created a large wall of water for protection, but it was of little use. The fire alone on contact evaporated the water and the fire impacted against the Hachibi. A Gregor Bastardo. Naruto again made poses with his hands and they were filled with lightning bolts. Big lightning javelin. When he finished saying his technique, a giant lightning javelin formed and without hesitation he threw it at the Hachibi. One explosion later and Killer B was found all charred and unconscious on the ground. You were confident just because you were the host of the eight-tailed Biju and that's why you lost. His look reflected disappointment, because he was expecting a more exciting fight. Naruto approached with slow steps. He cut his finger and began to draw a seal on B's stomach. A chain of red chakra appeared from Naruto's back and in a single motion pierced Killer B. He began to feel the power of the Hachibi and although the Biju resisted in the end he began to absorb it slowly. After 15 minutes he was at 99% and stopped. He didn't want to kill it. He started to retreat. But he received a blow from the Raikage himself, sending him crashing down. B, answer me, stupid brother. I warned you to stay in the village, were the angry shouts of a worried and angry Raikage. Calm down Raikage, your brother will live, and you think that will calm me down. I don't know who you are, but you won't get out alive. Without wasting time he activated his lightning armor and launched himself against Naruto. To the Raikage's surprise, 8 octopus limbs protruded from Naruto's back and imprisoned the Raikage. The Raikage angrily shouts at him, but what the fuck have you done? Because you have the power of Hachibi. Naruto gave him a smile, defeat me Raikage, defeat me in a fight and I'll tell you what happened. Then he got serious, but if you lose I'll keep your techniques. I accept. Without waiting any longer the Raikage jumped in and he didn't expect what would happen to him. Naruto with a crazy smile put his hands in the Raikage's direction, Baijutama. After an immense explosion that destroyed everything, there was silence. After a couple of hours, Naruto, as if it was the most normal thing in the world, was carrying the Raikage and Killer B on his back like it was nothing. Upon entering Kumogakure, the hidden cloud village was surrounded by several ambus and ninjas ready to attack the intruder and save their leader and brother. Naruto didn't care and continued walking. That's when 3 kunoichis stood in front of him in a fighting pose and of the 3 he only knew one. And she was glaring at him with hatred. Naruto with a sly smile spoke, "Excuse my manners, I am Naruto, a simple warrior, your leader challenged me to a duel and lost." Lookness. It was the cry of one of the women. Naruto snaps his fingers, "I remember you. You're the girl I saved from being killed." That's not true. Well, yes, it is true. But that's not the whole story and I want you to give me back what you took from me. He was saying it with hatred towards the white-haired man. Naruto nods, "But if you want it back you will have to fulfill a request of mine. Tell me if you accept kitten." "Don't call me like that. You know my name. I am Yujito ni. Tell me your request and I hope there is no lie." Naruto makes 2 clones and each one carries the Raikage and B. Then Naruto looks at the rest of the ninjas. "Guys, stop wasting time and accompany my clones to the hospital. No one wanted to pay attention, but a serious look from the three kunoichi that were with Naruto made them flinch and they obeyed the order. Yujito ni looks at Naruto and speaks again with a frown. Tell me what your request is about. Before answering, Naruto cuts his finger and touches the ground. Fuin sealed of silence. Well, with that no one will hear our conversation. Naruto sits on the ground in lotus pose and lets out a long sigh. I want all three to be my partners. At first there was silence and in an instant Naruto had 3 lightning-imbued swords around his neck. Yujito speaks with hatred, for these things I hate men. If you had only asked me, I would have agreed, but you have involved Samui and Karui. They are my best friends and I won't tolerate you laying a finger on them. Do you think I would fall in love with you? Said a blonde with blue eyes and a big bust coldly. I'm Samui and this is as far as you've come, you perverted bastard. Samui brandished her sword ready to rip his head off, but millimeters away from cutting him she stopped and asked. Why don't you fight back and attack? I really love them. I know it sounds bad. But first I have to be honest. First, you Yujito, don't you think you are a little unfair? I saved your life and I admit that I took Matatabi from you, but I didn't kill you. But I didn't kill you. And if I hadn't saved you, those guys in red cloud robes would have not only taken Matatabi from you, they would have killed you slowly and painfully. Naruto made a serious face and asked her friends, tell me, would you really have wanted your friend to die, just because she had a beast with a tail inside her? Neither of them said anything. I thought so, said Naruto. Karui asked, I still don't understand why you want the 3 of us. I mean, Yujito is beautiful and Samui, besides being beautiful, has an enviable body, but I don't have anything outstanding. Naruto gives her a slight smile. Even if you don't see it, for me you are beautiful. I love your reddish hair. Your eyes are like golden gems and your body reflects that you strive and train hard to be a great kunoichi. That made Karui smile and blush. Don't think your pretty words will make me believe you. Naruto stood up from his position and approached a Karui who didn't know what to do. Give me a chance to prove that I mean what I say. Karui saw Naruto's determination and nodded. Naruto continued to move closer and they were so close that they could both feel each other's breath. Naruto grabbed her by the waist, and he brought her closer and now Karui could feel Naruto's firm chest. This made Karui turn red as a tomato. What do you think you're doing? Were Karui's barely audible words. I'm enjoying a moment with my girlfriend. Tell me I can't. She was going to protest, but seeing Naruto happy with her made all her attempts of any protest or rejection vanish. HMP, it's okay, Baka. As long as you give Matatabi back to my friend I wouldn't mind hanging out with you. Thank you, and you deserve a prize. She looked at him confused, but her eyes opened because she felt something soft touch her lips and knew she was being kissed. She reciprocated because, as silly as it sounded, she was starting to feel something for Naruto. Naruto broke away from the kiss and saw how Karui was pouting because she wanted to continue with the kiss. He, calm down Karui-chan, first I will fulfill my agreement. He looked at Yujito and spoke to him, listen Yujito, I can't give you back Matatabi as such. That made both Yujito and Samui strike a fighting pose. That's because those who tried to capture you come from an organization that wants the beasts with tails. Yujito protested, I am strong, I can defend myself. Tell me Yujito, could you beat Itachi Uchiha or could you beat several S-ranked criminals? He could see how Yujito wanted to protest that he could defend himself, but seeing Naruto's seriousness, he dropped his shoulders and lowered his gaze in defeat. I can't. I'm weak. Those were the words of a defeated Yujito who had his fists clenched with impotence. He did not notice that Naruto was approaching and without expecting it he felt a warm embrace and without being able to resist he accepted it and his tears began to flow. Sniff sniff. I trained all my life, even with the hatred of some. Sniff. Asterisk back home and a pleasant surprise. Theory Part 8. 4 silhouettes were seen being half an hour away from reaching Konoha. You could see a white-haired man with 3 beautiful women. 2 blondes and 1 redhead. The first to speak was Yujito Ni. "Hey Naruto, can you tell me how you managed to convince the Raikage to let us go?" The other 2 women nod because they also wanted to know. Naruto chuckles and turns to look at them. It's kind of funny, but he doesn't see a problem telling you what happened. POV flashback. An upset Raikage was seen in his office, and in front of him was the boy who defeated him. His patience ran out and he destroyed his desk in one fell swoop. "Get rid of that smile, you bastard. Don't believe it's a big deal just to beat me. He, it's okay Kage-san. I'm here to make sure the deal is fulfilled, plus I love these girls." Naruto pointed his finger, implying that he wanted Samui, Yujito, and Karui. Both Yujito and Karui were embarrassed because their Kage was staring at them. The only calm one was Samui. The Kage crossed his arm and firmly rejected the offer, then he looked at the 3 kunoichis and spoke, "You can leave, this matter is not your concern." "Hi Raikage-sama." Without saying more they left. "Well Raikage, I know you like bloodlines or Kekii Genkai, if you accept my offer I will offer you 10 users with bloodlines." The Kage was a little impressed, but he wasn't going to give in so easily. With a demanding voice he demanded to be shown what the bloodline is all about. He calm down Kage-san. Then he approached the window and raised his hand in the direction of the sky. Jutsu Katan Dragon Breath. A large burst of blue fire occurred and reached the skies. This was observed by both the Raikage and everyone in the village. "I have the ability to bestow this bloodline. Although the power and how they use it will depend on each individual and the effort they put into mastering the blue fire." The Kage touched his forehead in meditation and finally accepted his offer. After that he called only 10 jonin and granted them blue fire, and the lightning techniques as well as the 3 kunoichi were given to Naruto. POV end of the flashback. The 3 kunoichi were somewhat surprised. Yujito spoke with a pout, "It's not fair Naru, I thought I would be the only one besides you, who would have the blue fire element." Naruto approached her and whispered in her ear, "And you're absolutely right, you're the only one with the possibility of catching up and surpassing me. Those 10 ninjas will only be able to do the basics, they will never have the full power of the blue flames." That calmed Yujito and the 4 continued their way to Konoha. Being at the gates of Konoha, Naruto grabbed the 3 kunoichi by the waist and without warning they teleported to the main mansion of Inuzuka. Not even 2 seconds passed and they were already surrounded by 16 Inuzuka ninja. Naruto removed his henge jutsu and relieved himself to a red head and everyone recognized him and knelt down. "Kunoichi X, we're sorry Lord Naruto, we didn't know it was you." Naruto raised his hand for them to calm down, and I'm glad to know that you are keeping an eye out for intruders. Can you tell me where Hana and Tsum are? Kunoichi X, follow me Naruto-sama. Believe me, you will be pleasantly surprised. They continued like this until they reached the rest rooms. The kunoichi left and Naruto approached the door. TOC, Hana-chan. Tsum-chan are inside. There was a minute of silence, until he received a pass to enter. The 4 of them entered and the sight that Naruto encountered shocked him. He saw a happy Tsum and Hana, but what took his breath away was to see a pair of red-haired babies. Just by looking at them he could tell that one was a boy and the other a girl. Without realizing it a couple of tears escaped him and with slow steps he approached his children. They were her children, her legacies. She grabbed them gently and hugged them, her tears came out, but the smile she had didn't disappear. She looked at Tsum and Hana and spoke to them warmly, "Thank you." The Last Beast and the New Wise Man of the 6 Paths Theory Part 9. A month of celebrations passed. For the first of the Tsujakuni clan were born. Kora Tsujakuni and Zuko Tsujakuni. The man being the son of Hana and the woman the son of Tsum. Another celebration would be coming soon, as Naruto was 14 years old and in a few months he would be 15. Naruto now had more motivation to be even stronger. He would not only protect his loved ones. He now had a family to protect. Both in the real world and in his mind he worked together with the Biju to master his Kekkei Genkai that was bestowed upon him by the Biju. After 3 months, he planned to meet Kushina. POV Kushina. Kushina left a clone of her and Mito, so that Minato wouldn't suspect they were dating. Meanwhile, mother and daughter were going to the Inuzuka compound. Her daughter felt the need to ask. Mother, because we ran away and left some clones at Otosan's house. Kushina looked at her daughter. Listen to me, Mito, there are many things you should know. You know the burdens you carry inside you, but you didn't suffer the same as the rest of the Jinchuriki. Tell me, do you know why that happened? Mito nods and answers, it's because the village respects Otosan and they are grateful for saving the village from the Kyuubi attack. Kushina denies and replies, that's a lie, Mito. Your father and everyone lied to you. I played along because they threatened to hurt you. That answer left Mito static. You're lying, mother. If that were true, Otosan would defend us from any danger. Kushina clenched her hands and replied, believe me, my child, I'm telling you the truth. Those bastards are cruel, and if you go against them it will go badly for you. That's why I have continued to train, and I have trained you to be so strong that no one can stop us. Her daughter, still in denial, answers her, I don't believe you, if it's all a lie. Then tell me, mother. Because no one mistreated me, because no one was mean to me, because I had a happy life. She was confused, she did not know what to believe. She was about to turn back and demand an answer from her father. When she turned around to run, she bumped into someone. Ouch, ouch. Sorry, I didn't realize. When she looked up, she saw a handsome redhead. His cheeks got hot and he started to stutter. Then she saw how her mother was standing next to that handsome man and her mind clicked. You, maybe you are Okasan's long-lost twin brother? That answer brought a bead of anime-style sweat to the two redheads. COF cough. I introduce myself, I'm Naruto Uzumaki, though you'll soon know me as Yorichi Tsujikuni. He extends his hand and Mito reflexively grabs it. Feeling his warm hand, she couldn't help but blush again. I am Mito Namikaze Uzumaki, nice to meet you, Naruto-san, were the shy words of a blushing Mito. Naruto with his charming smile replies, you look adorable, Mito-chan. Mito for his part couldn't stand it and fainted. Cough cough cough, leaving aside the fact that you flirt with my daughter in front of me. She made a serious face, but then tears came to her eyes. I missed you so much, Baka. She threw herself in a tight hug and then kissed him. He simply reciprocated the kiss, because he missed Kushina too. After a while the three of them headed to the Inuzuka compound. Mito was asleep in Naruto's arms. On one side, a jealous Kushina who also wanted to be held, and on the other side a comfortable Mito who was sleeping peacefully. HMP, it's not fair, Naru, were the complaints of a pouting Kushina, which in Naruto's view was kind of cute. Already? Yeah, my pretty tomato, get your reward. Naruto walked up to Kushina and gave her a kiss on her forehead. A simple act, but one that Kushina loved, as her big smile gave her away. After a while, all of Naruto's couples were in the same room. Naruto wanted that, so that they would all have a friend relationship and there would be no problems in the future. Kaya, how adorable these babies are, said Kushina, who was excited to see Naruto's children. They are beautiful, I hope to have one in the future too. Cough, mother, I'm here, remember, were the words of a Mito, who was looking at her with narrowed eyes. Ha ha ha, calm down, Mito-chan, mommy loves you too, I just hope my children have red hair, even so, never doubt that I love you. At that, they all looked towards the door and saw Naruto walk in. Well, I'm glad to see that everyone is getting along. Then he notices Mito. I guess by now he's been told the truth about everything. Mito nods his head in confirmation. Mother and the others told me and I'm really sorry, I never wanted you to suffer because of me. Mito had his head looking down at the ground, because he felt guilty. Then she received a tap on her forehead given by Naruto. Baka. I had a lot of time to meditate and I realized that you are not to blame. We are both victims of the leaders of this village. Naruto then became serious. Mito, I need the power of your tenant, would you let me get his power? After meditating a bit, Mito nods, I agree, anyway, that hairball never wanted to cooperate with me. Mito sits in lotus pose, an action that Naruto copied. Mito extends his fist towards him and Naruto did the same. In the mental space it was seen that they were in a white corridor and a cage with an intimidating Kyuubi. Grrrr, what do you brats want? Were the words spoken with hatred by the Kyuubi. Naruto approached the seal of the cage. He stretched out his hands and small blue flames appeared from his fingers. Naruto earnestly said, Fuin release. Then he turned his hand and little by little the seal was released. Kyuubi didn't miss the opportunity and with his tail managed to break the cage. Ha ha ha, stupid humans. They never think when they act. Without further ado, the Kyuubi swung its paw in Naruto's direction. But to the Kyuubi's surprise, Mito held him down with the chakra chains. Damn bastard. How dare you Greyer? With a roar he sent his 9 tails in the direction of a frightened Mito. Kyuubi knew that he was the most powerful, he didn't expect to face his 8 brothers at the same time. Right now. Before killing the stupid human, gigantic arms belonging to his siblings appeared and imprisoned their tails. Without waiting any longer, his 8 siblings made an appearance. What do they think they are doing? Maybe they forgot what they did to us. Maybe they forgot the hundreds of years locked up just for being powerful. Maybe they forget the hatred we received. Respond. It was said with so much hatred that his brothers flinched, but they would not back down. Naruto slowly approached the Kyuubi and just held out his hand. Sealing chain jutsu. As he said that, several red chains embedded themselves into a furious Kyuubi. You think you'll stop me, you think I'll be defeated like this. You're wrong. Baijidama. With a roar the Kyuubi expelled a gigantic Baijidama. Naruto didn't even flinch and when he was millimeters away from hitting it, he disappeared along with the Baijidama in a flash of red. And now he was on top of the Kyuubi. Swallow Thisu. Baijidama. Kyuubi didn't expect it and received the attack. Naruto didn't miss the opportunity and sent hundreds of chakra chains. Thanks to the chakra of the Bijus, his own chakra increased, giving him a plus in all his techniques. Naruto was serious but his eyes showed a hint of sadness. Listen to me Kyuubi, only the strong decide fate, you were overpowered. I hope to fight you again when your hatred fades away. Rest Kurama. With a loud shout Naruto made use of his willpower and ripped all the chakra from the Kyuubi towards him. In the same way he dragged the Kyuubi and split it. One part for him and one part for Mito. When they opened their eyes both Mito and Naruto were enveloped in a layer of orange chakra. Mito looked amazed, because she felt an amazing power. Naruto deactivated his mode and burst out laughing, because seeing Mito so excited made him very funny. Conquest. Theory Part 10. A couple of months passed, while Naruto explained to Mito how to use the Kyuubi mode. Naruto himself assimilated the power of the 9 Jinchuriki. With that extra power Naruto had access to any elemental jutsu, as well as the sub-elements. It was also used to celebrate Naruto and Mito's 15th birthday. Everything was fun until a drunk Kushina wanted to defile our protagonist in full celebration. It took a lot of help to calm her down, although it had an unexpected ending. POV flashback. Nay nara hip. Yo. Yo hip hip hip, you know I love you. She moves closer to Naruto and her hands run all over Naruto's chest. Naruto, somewhat flustered, replies, Kushi-chan, stop drinking already, I think you're already too drunk. Sniff sniff, maybe I'm ugly for you. Kushina was about to cry. No, of course not, you're very pretty Kushi-chan. Ju, sassy Naru. If you insist so much, let's do it. Here and now. Make me yours, my hot sexy redhead. Naru even more nervous. Kushina, everyone is watching us. And so it was. The whole Inuzuka clan, or rather those closest to Naruto, who were mostly his partners and the women of the clan. They watched the scene with giggles, though some were clearly jealous. Naruto's words did not stop her, they did the opposite effect, as Kushina felt very, very excited. It was so much that she threw herself at Naruto, lying him on the ground, and began to make a movement with her hips, and she let out a slight moan. Enough, mother. Mito reached out to stop his mother. She was red with both jealousy and embarrassment. She was about to touch her mother's shoulder, but Kushina with an otherworldly reflex somersaults in the air and knocks her out with a kick towards Mito's face. Everyone was left with their mouths open, and to avoid more problems, several kunoichi went to stop Kushina. After 10 minutes they could see the knocked-out bodies of the kunoichi, which were piled on top of each other. And on top of it all was a happy Kushina. Ha, I'm amazing. Don't you think so, Narukeyun? Those were the words of a drunk but happy Kushina. All the women left standing had a bead of sweat dripping down their faces. Kushina was going to keep on giving more beatings. She raised her chakra to the max and worried the women in the place. She jumped, and when she landed a crater was created around her. Kushina had a dangerous gleam in her eyes that scared everyone. Taking another step she stumbled and unbelievably fell asleep. End of flashback. Naruto called out to everyone in the clan, "Listen up everyone. Today I will take control of Konoha. Those of you who want to fight by my side, step forward." Their loved ones and several more women stepped forward. All the clansmen thought it was suicide, so they would not participate. In their thoughts, if Naruto died they would stay with their women. Naruto possessed the power of Kurama and was able to read people's hearts. With a serious look he performed several poses with his hands. Jutsu wooden stakes. Without hesitation all the men were impaled. Before criticizing me. Those bastards were waiting for my death, so they could abuse women. That said, most of them calmed down. Listen, I am strong and it might be enough to take over Konoha, but I will share my power with everyone for a moment so that the victory will be absolute. POV later. It was already night. Naruto and his were over the faces of the Hokage. Listen. Do not fear, do not hesitate and fight with the intent to kill. I have already evacuated the good-hearted people. Without saying more, Naruto makes hand poses. Katan Guka Makyaku. The Libero, a huge flare of blue fire. The people of Konoha began to beg and scream. Naruto did not hesitate and stretched out his hands. Bayudamaya Aaya. There was a huge explosion that wiped out most of the ninja. Only the strongest shinobi were left. Naruto with a commanding voice shouts, "Attacken!" All the women of his clan with the chakra cloak went to attack. The survivors of Konoha didn't stand a chance, and in the middle of the devastated Konoha lay a defeated Danzo, Minato, and Sarutobi who were kneeling. Minato looked at Kushina with a pained expression. "Tell me why." "Because you betrayed me, I thought you loved me." Kushina looked away for a moment, remembering those moments she had experienced with Minato, and couldn't help but shed a tear. "It's true that I loved you, but you let yourself be manipulated by your superiors. The brave man I loved died, and with him died my love as well." "I see," was the answer of a sad Minato. Sarutobi didn't say anything, because he understood that much of the blame was his own and he saw no point in fighting. An annoyed Danzo shouted at him, "How dare you? You're just a weapon. How dare you disobey?" His words ended when Naruto pierced his head with his lightning-piercing jutsu. Naruto then looked at Sarutobi. Naruto raised his hand in the direction of the old Hokage. Mini Bijidama. He created a small Bijidama and threw it in Sarutobi's direction. He dragged him for 500 meters and exploded. He then turned his gaze towards Minato. He walked over and raised his hand and filled with lightning. He created a lightning javelin and before throwing it he looked sideways and watched Mito and Kushina. Naruto spoke seriously, "Rest in peace. I'll take care of them." Minato turned his gaze in the direction of his daughter and gave her a slight smile. "Goodbye," was the whisper before being pierced by Naruto's technique. Naruto walked in the direction of both of them and communicated to them. He still has some time left, say goodbye to him. Without further ado, Naruto went to heal the injured women of his clan. Kushina walked over and looked sadly at Minato. "You really are a baka. If you had listened to me none of this would happen." "I know, cough cough. Hehe, I really am a baka." Minato looked at his daughter who was sobbing. "I'll miss you, Otosan." Sniff sniff. "No matter what they say, you were my hero and a great father." "Hehe, thanks." Minato closed his eyes. Mito can't take it anymore and screams in pain, "Otosannnnnnnnnnnnnnnnnn." POV 5 years later. The village was rebuilt thanks to Naruto's Mokutan. Also the Uzumaki and Inazuka clan joined the Tsuchikuni clan. Naruto was now known as Yoriichi Tsuchikuni, although his partners continued to call him Naruto. Naruto took care of the Akatsuki threat and only spared Konan, not only because of her beauty but because he took pity on her. POV flashback. 17-year-old Naruto. He wiped out all the Akatsuki, there was only one member left and she was crying on her friend Nagato's body. Sniff sniff. "Why, just that we just wanted peace. Tell me, is it too much to ask?" Konan looked at Naruto and her tears showed how broken she was. Naruto just remained silent. Konan was furious at being ignored and without thinking. She ran and attacked Naruto. She hit with all her might, but Naruto didn't even flinch. She gave it her all. Every blow she gave with rage, every blow showed how broken she was. 30 minutes passed and now she was on the ground defeated while sobbing. Sniff sniff, kill me, I have no purpose to stay alive. She didn't hear an answer and looked up and opened her eyes. She saw that Naruto had his hand outstretched and his eyes reflected compassion towards her. "Help me, Konan. I want your vision of peace to come true. I need someone who lived in pain to show the world that there is something better than pain and suffering. I want what is impossible for me to become a reality, but with you I know I will make it happen." She accepted. For a brief moment she could see Yahiko in Naruto, her heart told her to trust once again. And so she did. End of flashback. The village of Konoha was renamed the village of Uzushiogakure in honor of the Uzumaki. The Kage incredibly wasn't Naruto, as he didn't want to deal with the paperwork. The appointed Kage of the new Uzushiogakure was Kushina Tsuchikuni, who with a smile accepted the position, as it was her dream since she was a child. POV 150 years later. A man with white hair and red locks watched with a smile the prosperous village of Uzushiogakure. He watched as his great-grandson named Naruto Tsuchikuni became Kage. With a sad smile he looked at the sky. "I miss you, my beloved ones," said an adult Yoriichi Tsuchikuni, formerly known as Naruto Uzumaki. He attained immortality and with pain in his heart he saw all his loved ones die. He stood up from his seat, dusted himself off and put on a determined look. "Well, I think the time has come to look for them." Well, at their request, they didn't want to be immortal like Naruto himself, they just wanted to meet again in another life. Before going to meet their loved ones again, he decided to take care of his descendants and seeing that everything was fine, he no longer saw the sense to continue there. "Hehe, what do you say, Jubi, do you think they will be surprised to see us?" "Ha ha ha Gaki, I think they will beat you for taking so long." told him his tenant who merged and turned into a 10-tailed fox. Naruto walked a few steps away and in front of him a portal opened. Without another word he entered an unknown world. End of story. / Remember that my stories are on Wattpad and YouTube. If you want to support me you can subscribe. If you have money left over you can donate me on PayPal XD, but your subscription is enough for me. Cough 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 cough, donate please XD. Without more to say goodbye. I noticed that I reached 100 subscribers. Thank you very much for your support.